Hi, I'm Brett from Metropole. Well, who would want to be a property investor at the moment? The last decade has been one hit after another, resulting in some really unintended outcomes. Property investors have faced a barrage of poorly thought out policies and reforms from government and regulators, and there's the potential of more to come. You'd be forgiven for thinking that government sees as their own personal ATM. While the intention behind these measures has been to slow down the property market and raise some capital and revenue, there have been disastrous consequences. We're now facing a rental crisis the likes of which we have never seen. At a time when population growth is fast approaching pre-pandemic levels, the appetite to invest and therefore supply more rental properties is fast drying up. Meanwhile, there's no serious solution to the housing crisis from either side of politics, only further talks of market control. And at the end of the day, that's what's got us into this situation. There's been a clear target on the back of investors. There has been reforms going through the last decade from regulators, particularly things like APRA, who have forced investors to start paying principal and interest. They're having to pay higher interest rates and service at significantly higher rates when they're looking to borrow money. That's resulted in a credit crisis in around 2017 and 18, drying up the level of investors entering the market and therefore rental properties being exposed. The government's having a massive role to play also. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's no certainty and there's no future certainty predicted. 1 minute we're having negative gearing changes and that's going to stop. Then there's land tax changes and stamp duty and capital gains. It's all a big mess and it's all creating a huge level of uncertainty, which is really drying up investor appetite and drying up the number of properties that are available for rent at a time when our population is skyrocketing. So there has to be something done to either help, our tenants, and that's in the form of property investors, or they have to come up with a solution to provide more housing. Look, it's unfortunate tenants are having to pay an extra $300 each month, and that's a really difficult in a time of cost of living pressures. But the other side of the coin is that investors are having to come up on the average mortgage of $500,000, about $800 a month. So there's all talks of rent caps and all those types of things, but I don't see any talk of investor caps and interest rate rise caps and things like that as well as cost of living. So there has to be more of a balanced approach. The government has to do more and the regulators have to do more, and I believe it starts with supporting investors until they can come up with a serious long-term solution. Thanks for listening.